The US government had a real program called Looking Glass. Marvel made an eye that contains the time stone. A children's book series built an entire mythology around a secret society whose symbol is an eye. And in January 2026, a conservative podcaster used all this to explain why Charlie Kirk supposedly knew he was going to die. None of these things are supposed to connect, they do anyway. Fact 1. Looking Glass is not an internet war, it's a documented airborne command post mission. Strategic Air Command, later STRATCOM, built so if the ground command centre got wiped out in a nuclear strike, the mission continued in the sky. That's real, declassified, boring even. Fact 2. The Eye of Agamotto is fiction. Stanley and Steve Ditko, Strange Tales issue 115, December 1963. Ditko designed it after the eyes of Buddha, a Nepali protection symbol. Stan Lee said it himself, he made the mythical names up, no hidden tradition behind Agamotto. Just a writer inventing a word that sounds ancient. Fact 3. Lemony Snicket, real name Daniel Handler, built a series of unfortunate events around a secret organisation called VFD. Its insignia is a single eye with the letters V, F and D hidden inside it. The V and F forming the iris, the D the pupil. That eye shows up everywhere, tattooed on Count Olaf's ankle, stamped on lockets and etched onto spyglasses. Actual looking glasses, carried by VFD members with the watching eye built right into the device. An organisation whose whole identity is built on secrecy and surveillance, handing its agents a literal looking glass stamped with an eye. That's not subtext, that's the thesis in object form. 3. Real origin points, 1 military mission, 1 comic book page, 1 spyglass stamped with a watching eye, all landing on the same image, an eye that watches through glass. Here's where it gets interesting. In the early 2000s, a man named Dan Burishk starts telling a different looking glass story. Not a plane, a machine built at Area 51 that lets operators view probable futures, branching timelines. He claims the device showed all possible futures converging on one date, December 21st, 2012. Sound familiar? Mayan calendar. End of the world predictions same year. No evidence, no declassified file, just testimony stacked on testimony, riding on the back of a real military code name that already existed. Now flip to Marvel. In the comics, the Eye of Agamotto was never about time, it was about the Eye of Truth. It dispelled illusion, saw through disguises. Then the movies came, and suddenly the Eye of Agamotto isn't just a truth detector, it's a containment vessel for the time stone, an artifact that lets the bearer rewind or fast forward reality itself. A fictional all-seeing eye retrofitted into a time viewing device. And Snicket's eye, same underlying function but literalized, a real looking glass in the hands of a secret watching organisation, with the eye symbol built into the lens housing itself. Fiction, but it skipped the metaphor and just built the object. 3 eyes, 3 completely different genres, one shared idea, someone somewhere is looking through a glass and seeing more than you do. So which direction did it actually travel? Did fiction absorb folk myth that was already circulated, turning truth-seeing eyes into time-seeing ones because the audiences were primed for it? Or did fiction come first, feeding the myth its shape? Here's where it gets uncomfortable. In January 2026, Candice Owens brought Looking Glass back into the mainstream on her podcast episode 290 titled Around the Question of How Charlie Kirk Knew He Was Going to Die. Her claim that Kirk told her more than once that he was a time traveller who already knew his own death. I want to be precise about what that is. It is an unverified claim made by one person about a private conversation that can't be independently checked. Charlie Kirk was unalived in 2025. He isn't here to confirm or deny it. That matters. A claim like that doesn't get to borrow the weight of a real death without earning it, and right now it hasn't. But watch what it does rhetorically. It takes a real military code name and a comic book eye and a children's book insignia, 3 unrelated watching symbols, and uses their coincidence as evidence that someone somewhere already watched how this ends. That's not proof of anything, that's a pattern recognition doing a job evidence is supposed to do. 3 eyes, 1 real acronym for a nuclear failsafe, 1 invented word for a comic book prop, 1 insignia hidden in a children's book about orphans on fire. None of them were built to predict a death in 2025, but all 3 got pulled into a story anyway, because an eye that watches is one of the oldest, stickiest images we have. It doesn't need to be true to feel true.